What if I told you the most confident people in the world are not fearless? Not the CEOs, not the speakers, not the influencers. The secret of real confidence is something most people completely misunderstand. And if you've ever been afraid to speak, afraid to raise your hand, afraid to say what you really think, then listen carefully. This story might change your life. In Los Angeles, there was a 19-year-old college student named Jax. Quiet, smart, invisible. Every time the professor asked a question, Jax knew the answer, but he never spoke. His heart would race, his hands would shake, and a voice inside his head would whisper, "What if they laugh? What if I sound stupid?" So he stayed silent, day after day. One afternoon, Jax had to give a presentation. He stood up, looked at the class, and froze. 10 pairs of eyes staring at him felt like 1,000. His mouth went dry. For a few painful seconds, he said nothing. Then someone in the back of the room chuckled. Jax felt his face burn with embarrassment. He rushed through the presentation, sat down quickly, and avoided eye contact for the rest of the day. That night, he stared at the ceiling and told himself, "I'm just not a confident person." And that is the lie millions of people believe. A week later, Jax was sitting alone in a quiet public library in downtown Los Angeles. Rain tapped softly against the windows. The room was almost empty. Jax stared at an open book, but he wasn't reading a single word. He was replaying his failed presentation again and again. The silence around him felt heavy. That's when an elderly philosopher, who had been sitting nearby for hours, slowly closed his book and looked at him. He asked gently, "Why are you fighting a battle that has already ended?" Jax looked surprised. "I embarrassed myself in front of everyone," he said quietly. The philosopher studied him for a moment, then smiled. "Tell me, how many people from that room are thinking about your presentation right now?" Jax hesitated. "Probably none." The philosopher nodded. "Exactly. The prison is not in their minds, it is in yours." Jax frowned, trying to understand. The philosopher leaned forward and said words that would stay with him forever. Confidence is not believing you will never fail. Confidence is knowing that failure cannot destroy you. Jax felt something shift inside him. The philosopher continued, "When I was young, I was terrified of speaking. My voice trembled for years. But one day, I discovered a truth that changed my life." He pointed toward the rainy street outside. "Every person you see out there is carrying a hidden struggle. They are worrying about their future, their mistakes, their fears. They are not watching you as closely as you imagine." Then he said softly, "The moment you stop trying to protect your image, you become free." Those words hit Jax harder than any lecture he had ever heard. The next morning, he decided to do something different. In class, his heart was pounding, his hands were cold, the fear was still there. But this time, he slowly raised his hand. Not because he felt confident, because he was tired of letting fear make every decision for him. His voice shook. He spoke for only a few seconds, and then he waited. No laughter, no humiliation, no disaster. The world kept moving. The next day, he asked a question. A week later, he answered another. A month later, he volunteered for a new presentation. As he walked to the front of the room, the fear returned. His hands were still shaking. His heartbeat was still fast. But for the first time, he did not try to escape the fear. He spoke with it, sentence by sentence, breath by breath. And when he finally finished, the room became silent. Not the silence of judgment, the silence of attention. In that moment, Jax understood the real secret. Real confidence is not the absence of fear. It is moving forward while fear walks beside you. The people you admire still get nervous. They still doubt themselves. They still feel pressure. The difference is simple. They speak anyway. They try anyway. They show up anyway. So if you are waiting to feel confident before you begin, you may wait forever. Begin first. Confidence comes after the raised hand, after the first sentence, after the first awkward attempt. Because every time you act despite fear, you send your brain one powerful message: I can handle this. And that is the secret of real confidence, not what you think.